Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Majn Starcraft, and I'm glad to announce, first of all, that my voice is back. And today our episode will be between the Terran. Yes, the Terran. I'm sorry, I can't change his name. And the Protoss. I don't know, I'm turning my head. Can you read that? I can't. Well, anyway, his name is Pager. These players and this replay has been highly recommended. Sometimes I do admit that I am a total knob when it comes to some players, and I'm just oblivious to who they might actually be. So on the main thing is that I haven't heard of these players, but we'll see if they actually provide some kind of really awesome match. Well, we shall see. Let's check out the income tab. Pretty much similar for both players and similar builds. We will not have a wall-in from the Terran. Imagine, I'm going to double pronounce Terran this entire game. The Terran and the Protoss Pager. Anyway, we have a supply depot which will not be a wall-in, and we have a barracks on 12, so 12 racks without a wall-in, so he doesn't exactly fear a 2-gate. This might just be a macro game, and I love macro games. I really hate cheese. I'm turning into Hydra. Well, a really bad player of Hydra with Hydra Rage, but you get it. We have the scouting probe moving out for Pager, and luckily for him, he will actually scout the first base. The first base he visits will be the correct one, and we'll see if he tries to be annoying by attacking the constructing SCV or just idling around. The SCV is pulled off the line by the Terran, and he will try to get rid of the scout, but as we know, an SCV will never catch a probe or vice versa. A Marine is being brought out, and I think this probe, if this probe doesn't leave soon, it's going to die. Orbital command morphing in on the way. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have a cybernetics core, and that's pretty much it. The scout for our Terran player sadly is going to be completely oblivious to the Protoss base and miss it. So far the scouting probe just makes it out of there with 4 HP. I'm sorry, Marine, you fail. Go back to prison, convict. Well, this probe just says, I'm Protoss, I'm badass, and I'm getting out of here. But securing the Zalnaga tower, because that's pretty much all he can do. Sending out his Marine also to scout to see if this base is taken, while this SCV is going to finally find our Pager, while this SCV will scout for any high yield. So now that he's finally found his opponent, he's gonna see that there's nothing really to see, just your run-of-the-mill Protoss build, and is gonna get out of here before whatever's being chrono boosted out will get to kill it, which would have been a stalker, which would have meant that SCV. Now we have 2 SCVs here. Does this mean anything? Does this mean anything? What are these doing? I suppose these SCVs are scouting for expansions, but really, let's face it, the 2 players probably at this high level don't want to cheese each other. Just don't want to cheese each other. It's a really cheap play at the end of the day, and despite the fact that it is part of the game, and cheese will always be a part of the game and some people's strategies, and it is fun to watch, I will admit. It just doesn't have that epic feel that you have when you watch a full-on 200 versus 200 army or a long macro game. Well, that's just my opinion. We have a robotics facility on the way and a gateway. Meanwhile, the Terran is constructing his second barracks, so nothing really special there. We have concussive shots almost on the way, and this factory is moving into scout, and it's actually going to land. Let's see if it's going to try and produce anything. Will it produce a Hellion? And a Hellion is on the way. I don't know if exactly this is a good tactic. Does even the Protoss see this factory? No, the factory is hidden. Awesome. Speaking of proxies and scouting your base, our Pager has put a pylon here behind the smoke screen. This is good because drops will be here and will be really annoying. And there's that one Hellion. A second Hellion will come in. He will try to harass with these with this army, try to pull out the defenses, and then just bring in the Hellions and do a lot of economical damage. Oh, but the Observer finds it! The Observer finds the factory, and now the Terran army just blocks the poor Hellion here, and now this factory needs to lift off and leave, because there's pretty much nothing it can do. Sets a rally point. That one Hellion, will it be able to do some damage? I have no idea. The factory did make it out of there. The Hellion does have any kills? 1 kill. Come on, get more kills, you Hellion, you hero Hellion. 3 kills for the Hellion. It sadly did not pay for itself, but that was a fun play to watch. Let's look at the units lost tab. We have the Protoss Pager in a slight advantage, 100 resources, while the Terran is behind. So far we have Immortals on the way, Stim and Medevac, so we will have a little bit of a bio build, and we will have an Immortal build. I don't know if the bio build will be that good against many Immortals, but so far there's just only one, and all these Stalkers will pretty much fall to a Marauder. Marauders. Now this Observer is going to scout the... I'm sorry, I'm hiccuping. Yesterday I was sick, now I'm hiccuping. An expansion on the way for the Protoss and an expansion on the way for Terran, but notice it is not the normal natural, it is here. It will be a little bit harder to defend because the armies are going to have to run all the way over here, but it will be safer as long as the Protoss doesn't scout. And as you can see, the Observer just scouting here, and it's expecting actually an attack, but that's not going to happen. Meanwhile, the factory is being used for scouting purposes. A pylon, I don't think that it was actually used to block the landing, but hey. And soon this expansion is going to be up, and that would mean that the Protoss will be in a slight economical advantage. Why isn't this telling me? What is this SCV doing? Build your building! Oh, sigh, that is not good. That is not good for our Terran, what are you doing? Now this factory is hiding up here where all the cool places are, just staring down at the city. Metalopolis, one of my favorite maps. And meanwhile, we have a Stalker chasing the SCV, and the SCV is DAD, dead. I know how to spell dead, by the way. So far the Terran is almost securing his drop, but sadly these Observers... Oh, nice, very nice scan, and gonna destroy the Observer, and very nice. He did notice that Observer, because if you pay attention to your screen you will see Observers, and now the Terran will move out, but apparently not with the drop. Let's see at the units army. We have 7 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, 11 Marauders, ooh, and a Colossi. This Colossus will be able to do a lot of damage and will be able to help, but we also have Medevac scouting here, and the army is going to gain. I don't think that this is very good for our Terran because his Medevacs are way out of position, and he loses a big chunk of his army right there, and he needs to fall back. This Ghost is on the way, so we might have nuke play. Or not, we just might see EMP. EMP is always awesome against Protoss, and this factory, I think, will it start to burn until it gets out of there. Oh, bad micro from... Oh, come on, one more attack. That's it. Goodbye, factory, you are dead. It almost got out of there. I don't know why Terran stopped, and I don't know why Pager stopped as well. It was so close. Very nice holding these Medevacs from actually doing the drop, but I think they will gonna come in here and start dropping, and there we go. There we have drops. Very nice micro. Let's see that APM 220. Very nice from Terran. Now Terran is in a little bit of a disadvantage because of the army size, but has been able to do some damage. One Medevac dies, the other Medevac dies, and this entire army is dead. Unit lost tab favoring our Protoss Pager a lot. Right now he has only lost 875 worth of resources, while Terran has lost 2,250, and we have a starport. And let's check out that production tab. We have nukes, so we will see nukes. Another drop here from Marauders taking out a pylon, but sadly that's all it's gonna do. Now run away, Medevac, before you die. There are no Templars to use feedback, no high Templars. If we look at the army side, the Protoss is in a advantage, a 30 supply advantage, well 25 supply advantage in getting out a Twilight Council. So we might see Blink Stalkers, and we might see Blink Stalkers because these are a lot of Stalkers. We might see some foot on Zealots, and we have another 3 more gateways which will become warp gates. So now the Protoss is on the move and going to take out this SCV, so the Xel'Naga tower will belong to him. So far income, we are favoring the Terran because this secret base is really kicking in with all those mules. But now here comes the encounter, and oh, that is bad positioning from the nuke. It was a defensive nuke, but sadly it will not come. It will not work. He should cancel this nuke. Cancel your nuke before it lands. Oh, wasted nuke. That is sad. Now, what will happen here? The Colossus using that extended thermal lance and that vision to attack right here, and this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna destroy all the mineral lines, because if he decides to use his Colossi to attack the army, but if he would have attacked all these SCVs, it would have been a lot better. Every single SCV getting in on the action, attacking all these SCVs, just doing a lot of damage, and the Marauders doing a lot of damage to that massive Stalker army. Only a few immortals, and the Colossus die as well. And now apparently Terran is a great position because he's just picked up and moved out. That is a very good plan, very good, because it will be a while until our Protoss will be able to reinforce, dropping all these Marauders who will have no problem taking out. Oh, nice EMP, taking out all the shield, and now these Marauders are going to be able to stim in here and take out all those Stalkers. Now going for that Colossi. Will the Colossus get away? And the Colossus does get away. Now he should actually try to focus down the expansion, try to focus down some tech buildings, pylons, try to depower your opponent, maybe do some economical damage. Just taking out your opponent's army is not enough, but more Stalkers being warped in, probes getting in on the action, and all the Marauders have died, and I think even the Ghost died as well. I love Ghosts, but it died. I'm sad for that Ghost. I'm going to miss that Ghost. Meanwhile, the medevacs coming back here, pretty much empty loaded. This one Marauder did make it out of there alive, and the Ghost actually make it out of there alive. You're alive, Ghost! You're alive! Thank you for surviving. Now we have a third expansion on the way for both players, but Pager is in a very huge advantage because it's very early, and all these transitioning probes will kick in right about, well, soon, and we'll see that income skyrocket for the Protoss player. Meanwhile, we have another drop doing not necessarily that much damage, another Colossus that probably died here. Stim being used, gonna try and take out the Nexus, and force field inside. Pager got force field inside